Hey there, Cathy McLeish, back here to talk about alcoholism, the disease, the problem, the addiction. So, do you have a power of choice? Do you have that power to choose anymore? And the simple answer is yes, of course you do. And you might think that you don't because life just keeps happening to you, to me. And that was what it was like in the last years of my drinking. I felt like everything was happening and I had no control. And I was trying so hard to keep control. And yet my answer was usually the next drink. So pouring alcohol on top of problems does not really take me to the answers. It usually just makes the problem a little bit worse, a little bit more unclear, even a little bit harder for me to see what the solution might be. So, the power of choice. When did I think I lost it? I believe, at least for me, it was when I stopped pausing between the problem and the solution. I would think in my mind back in earlier years, if something came up, I would think about what I was going to do. I would think about this is a possibility, that is a possibility, and which of these two things am I going to choose? That is my power of choice. I can do that today. In everything I come up against, I weigh the choices and then I make the better choice in a perfect world. Anyways, when I'm drinking, I lose that ability because I do not pause between the problem and the choice of a solution. I just go to the drink. Drink has become my answer. So, if drinking isn't going to be my answer, how am I going to pause between the problem and the choice of a solution? I am going to have to try something different. Okay, that is how I got into sobriety. That is how I started to stack good choice upon good choice and get the life that I'm living today. I had to try another way. And in my experience, I had to try somebody else's way because all of the years of my drinking and destruction and breaking up of these relationships and loss of finances and self-esteem, self-worth, all of that happened with my choices. And the choices that I make to get me here are not going to get me here. And if I want to go here, I'm going to have to find another way, new choices. So when I actually asked for help, let me just clarify that. When I tried to find help for my partner who was alcoholic, and we're talking 30 some years ago, I came upon a solution. I thought the solution was for him. I really would have preferred the solution was for him. And he said, after listening in a room of recovery of people that were on the other side, after listening to what they did, he said, I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm not coming back. I don't want to do that. And in my own mind, I had heard the message, and the message was for me. It wasn't a complete answer. It wasn't the solution. It was one idea that I never had before, that maybe life would be better if I stopped drinking. That was not on my radar at all. Drinking was my solution. That was my choice every day. Problem, drink. Problem, drink. Phone rings, drink. Mail comes, drink. Somebody's knocking on the door, drink. So that was my solution. I never even had that pause between problem and solution. So here I am in an atmosphere and I hear something and it drops in like a thought from nowhere that maybe there is another way. And so I went back. I went back to this atmosphere of people that were living a life without alcohol, and they seemed to be very happy, which I thought was a big freaking lie, but I was curious enough to investigate, and I was not happy. The choices that I had made had backed me into a corner, and I was miserable. I was miserable. And so when drinking no longer worked, when drinking was just like pouring gasoline on a fire and it just made more fights in our home, less money, less possibilities for a good future, for a healthy future for our children, when drinking became police coming to our home, physical and emotional abuse, when drinking became this big, ugly monster that didn't happen overnight, it happened slowly, bad choice by bad choice by bad choice. And then there I was. And when you get to any part of that journey, it's just going to keep going along if the bad choices continue. If the good choices take you off to a turn off that road, then you've got a chance. So when it comes to the power of choice, I always have it. I have it all day long. What the alcoholic does, what this alcoholic did, is I stopped with the pause in between the problem, the question, and the answer. And instead, I just took a drink. In that little increment of time, drinking became my solution. And eventually it became my only solution. And I was no longer thinking of possibilities. And so what did I tell myself? I told myself I didn't have a choice, that this was my life, that I just had to deal with it. That unfortunately I had drawn the short straw, that my siblings were doing better, but somehow I was the black sheep, that I was going to be a failure, that I quit everything I ever started. And that became the way that I saw myself. But it wasn't a true vision. What it was is the consequences of my drinking. And drinking will do that to us. It will turn us into something we never wanted to be, we never thought we would become. You don't sit around when you're a young girl or a young man and think, I am going to treat my kids like crap when I grow up. I'm going to live in a house I don't want to live in. How about an apartment for the rest of my life? I am not going to do yard work. I am not going to show up for family. I am not going to rise in my career. I am going to do absolutely the minimal, and I'm going to drink. And that's going to be my solution to everything. So no, that is never a plan. That is never a dream of a young person. What happens is we take the drink, we take the drink, we take the drink, and then the drink takes from us over and over again. Relationships, possibilities, dreams, careers, even finishing a degree. It takes and it takes. And we allow it to because we do not make choices. So many choices are made for the alcoholic because of omission. We don't make a choice. We just let life happen to us. We let that person leave because they're sick and tired of us. We let that job fall through because we don't show up. We allow things to happen to us, and then we sit around and feel sorry for ourselves, when really everything that has happened to us is a choice. Now, I'm not going to get into the big, huge things that happen to people. I have worked with a lot of women, and a lot of women have worked with me. And there are deep underlying issues that both men and women have. And those were not our choices. But let me be gently, so gently clear on this. What we do with those things that happen to us is our choice. If we don't do anything to heal, to uncover, to break down, and to understand what happened to us, then that is a choice of omission. And everything that comes from that pain and that hardship of whatever we went through that was not our choice becomes our life. And that has become our choice because we did nothing to heal from a past that was not our fault. But when we become capable, when we start making choices for ourselves at whatever age that is, the bigger choices, 16, 18, 21, then it is our choice. What we are willing to look at in order to become the best, most healthy person that we can be. And there are things available to help us through. We just have to have that little bit of humility to ask for help. It is always about that next choice, and sometimes the next choice is being humble. And by humble, I just mean being honest and willing enough. Nothing about humiliation, nothing about putting ourselves down, but being willing enough to say, I don't have the answer. Can you help me? And that choice, more than any other choice we make in our life, will change the trajectory of our life for the better in an amazing way. Whether it's to stop drinking, whether it's to get help with some other issues that have kind of, made our life go a direction we never intended for it to go. Those things, those big life things that happen to us, we have choices as to what we're going to do with them. So today, think about this. Where I am at, my life that I am living, is the culmination of every choice that I have made since I became the choice maker in my life. And if I love it, then I'm on the right path and I'm making good choices, and I have good mentors and coaches and people in my life that are helping me with the direction of the things that I don't understand how to do on my own. And there's a lot of them. Why would I think that I can handle everything on my own? I've never parented. I've never been in a good, healthy marriage, so I might need some help. So all of the things that are my successes, I'm making choices to say, I'm not sure how to do this. In fact, I am pretty sure I will F it up if I don't get some help. So can you help me? And all of the things, all the areas that I am failing at, and when I came to recovery at 27, I was failing at everything, horribly so, to the point where I was ruining other people's lives. And so all of those poor choices piled one upon the other, where I think I have all the answers. I should be able to fix this. I'm just weak. I'm not strong enough. I will try again tomorrow. And then I try and I fail. It's not about me, that failure. It is in the sense that I need to admit I can't do it on my own. And that is okay. Again, why should I be capable to do everything on my own? The choice that I need to make is just to say, I'm not enough in this area. Could you add something to me, to what I know, to what I can do, to my skill level, to my tools? And could I get on a path that is better and more healthy for me? That is what I did at the age of 27. And 37 years later, I'm still doing it. But you know why? It's because my life just keeps getting better and better. My choices get better and my outcomes become better. And am I in charge and successful in every area of my life? Absolutely not. But you know what? The scorecard has changed in my favor, so much so that I have very few areas of my life that I still think, oh my God, Cathy, when are you going to turn that one over and ask for help? There's very few areas, and I'm still plugging away at those, because that is life, and that is the challenge of a very good, healthy life, is to keep on growing. So I'm going to challenge you today to look at the choices that you're making and how are they serving you. That's what it's about. How are they serving you so that you can actually serve the people that you love? So think about your next choice. Think about what it could be. Think about what alcohol might be taking from you as far as choices that you have in your life, and take those things back with your next choice. Cathy McLeish just sharing a little bit about alcoholism so that we can be part of the solution in living a healthier life in spite of either what alcohol is doing to us or the people that we love. Thanks.